I got 4 older brothers. 2 of the ones above me is from the Turk. So I grew up into this. I already knew what I was gonna do at 6. I knew what I was gonna do at 6. I was banging the hood and throwing it up and all that when I was 7. I was writing on the walls when I was 7. So I knew what I was gonna do. It wasn't even on. When they was asking what you want to be in school, I said, I want to be that. I want to be the homies. I want to be out there on the block. They telling me to go in the house, but I know where I want to be. First chance I get, I'm there. You feel me?
Diamonds in my pinky, dollars in the bank. We ride around on 28, bounce, rock, skate. All y'all hate, damn it feels great to have this cake. So I guess I'll see ya, cause I wouldn't wanna be ya. And any nigga that ain't trying to get his cake like me, that's a nigga I don't wanna be near.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your main man, King Dopest, and I'm back with this new content as promised. Recently, I had the honor and privilege of sitting down with B-Lo from Inglewood family, Gangster Bloods, and talking about him joining the gang, surviving prison, and what it took for him to walk away from active participation in gangbanging. And we also got to chop it up about his book. Confessions of a Compassionate Felon by B. Anthony Shepard is a great read and something I suggest that you get for yourself or somebody that you love. It's an amazing book. I've read it 3 times. I'm going to drop the link in the description. Other than that, enjoy the content. Like, comment, and subscribe. And y'all already know, it's one love or no love.
To change your whole ideology.
Man,
everything that you embrace.
Listen, man, I keep it.
I spoke about that in the book. Everything we embraced at 12 years old, I couldn't think 2 weeks ahead of time at 12. But I'm taking a vow to give my life to something that this is all I know, this is all I want to know. All the homies, whatever it is, all the bullshit, this is what it is for the rest of my life at 12 years old.
Right.
I'm making this vow right now to live, kill, destroy, whatever for this.
Right.
And then I find out later on it's not what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now that I'm out here with my second chance, bro, I'm making the most of it. I'm gonna embrace what it is. We're gonna make it what it is.
Right.
You know, fuck the color lines, fuck the geography, fuck all that.
Yeah.
This is what it is right here. Real love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We ain't gotta agree all the time.
No.
We can lock up and still hug at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody don't get that. I can meet somebody right now and be like, how long you did? 25 years? Okay, for sure. Welcome home.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna embrace you with the same understanding I would with him. We were there in the trenches.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know his resume. He knows my resume. I know when it gets popping, I ain't gotta worry about where Adisa is because he's gonna be right beside me or I'm gonna be trying to catch up to him.
Yeah.
Right.
You feel me? So it's a different one. So when I see him going through something, I ain't gotta come with no false pretense.
No.
Adisa, what's good, bro? I see it in your face. What's happening?
Yeah.
Talk to me. I seen when we were. I didn't even know the situation he had with the CEO or whoever she was at a transitional place.
Right.
But when you were speaking about, we was in class. He was speaking about it. And I was like, bro, and this is what it is.
Yeah.
And it was just like instant. He embraced that instantly.
Instant.
That's that chemistry, bro. That's that deep rooted chemistry from way back yonder.
And watch this.
Ancestral.
You can't even, that's what I was finna say, because you can't even really like put nothing on it that can describe it, because if you try to use the regional and all the little superficial boundaries, it don't work. I'm older than B. B was a Damu, I was a Kiwi. Nothing in that would tell you that he could be the person that could
Reach.
and get you to where you need to be. You dig what I'm saying? So that's why that type of shit has to be eliminated from your thinking. Because if not, you're gonna miss the opportunity to grow and advance and be successful. Like you said, man, just sitting out when we go, like I said, to Chrissy Field. In my mind, that's a safe space. Just the memory of it. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of dudes in there, they don't get that. Because they trying to regain hope. Trying to regain hope from the hopeless is crazy.
And that's what I was just explaining. When you get sentenced to life, and the judge is telling you like, bro, it's a wrap. When you leave prison, you're gonna leave flat. You believe that shit. I went in as a juvenile. I believe that shit.
Yeah.
My developmental years was based on me never coming back home. So all the time, every time I come to yard, I'm ready for whatever. Just to give me a reason. Matter of fact, I don't even need a reason. Just point me in the direction, bro. We're just gonna get up.
Yeah.
But then years and years and years go past, and then they finally say, well, laws didn't change, and the climate didn't change, and the environment didn't change, and now we think about letting you out. So now you telling me that for 26 years, for however long I've been saying fuck the world, and now you telling me now I gotta reclaim this hope? How do you do that? Where do you get that from?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you start to you go back into who you are, which is what I was talking about with the monster in the book, the story of the monster. Mm-hmm. Like we forget who we are. The monster tries to destroy who we are originally, who our mamas gave us birth to be, right? You got to reclaim that, bro. You got to slay the monster. You created a monster. You can slay the monster. Dr. Frankenstein created the monster. The monster destroyed Dr. Frankenstein. Feel me? Because he was improperly programmed. He was improperly programmed just like we was. I was taught to hate Crips. Why? The 60s ain't done nothing to me, bro. And I hated the 60s. And it was just recent. It was just recent since I've been free that I started realizing the fuck I hate them for. They ain't never done shit to me. They ain't done shit to my mama, my father, my brothers, my kids, nothing. Why do I hate these dudes so much? I grew up, I got cousins from 60s. Mm-hmm. Why do I hate these dudes so much? It's because I was told to. So it makes you question shit. Why do I hate such and such? Why do I like such shit? Why would I die for this and not for that? But that's the truth though, you know what I mean? Real talk. Like, we would program this, coming off the porch, this is what you do. You see them dudes, you go on site. Right. You get to the pen, now they're saying like, well, if it's another race, then you get active and you ride for that dude. You make sure that dude don't die, even though you hate him. Mm-hmm. You make sure he don't die because the other race can't get that point.
Right. Let me ask you something.
Now it's a game. Now it's a chess game. It's the truth, bro. It's all about reprogramming. It's all about using that eraser, erase the mistakes, and make the corrections.
I was gonna ask you if it was a situation that actually happened, who was the first, probably somebody from 60s that you got along with on the yard, if you did? You have to define getting along. Because I'll go along with, I was against the truce, I was against the peace treaty, I was against all that shit. I was against shaking time, I was against all that shit. Just because that's the way I was indoctrinated. But I also knew politics, and I embraced politics early. And I know in order for us to progress collectively, I gotta set aside the bullshit individually. So to answer your question, the first Rolling 60 that I really listened to was Kill Rock, Big Buzz. And that was only because he had their core, and that was part of the table of our core. And so at times when things had to happen, we come together, we sit down, we talk. And so when it was just he and I talking, when we had the most influence, and he's much older than me, we had the most influence, then we meet eye to eye. Now we meet as men, as opposed to the boyhood shit that we embrace as juveniles. You know what I mean? And so we're meeting across the table, we're talking, we're shaking hands, and we're agreeing to something, and we don't go carry that out. Not us, but us. And when it's successful, that shit feels good. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I realized, like, shit, it's more power in us than it is in, just us, my side. You know what I mean? It's more power in us collectively than me and just my tribe. You know what I mean? So, dead all that shit. But to answer your question, that was the first person I really looked at and said, like, okay, I can see a lane where we can commingle, we can coexist. Right. But growing up, I knew Big AD from 60s. You know, we grew up in Juvenile Hall. Big Little Devil from 60s. I mean, I can go forever. On and on.
I can go forever. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But it's a different feel. Like once after you done been out there in the field, so to speak, now you in the pen with the same people. You know what I mean? And so a lot of times when me and Dopest be talking, me and Dogman, we be saying would be issues or instances, if you will, that like are transformative. Because I always say this: prison is about basically two things: transformation and transaction. When you got the sentence, you earned it, so to speak, whatever, and the judge gave you time according to, quote unquote, the crime that they found you guilty of. You get a number, you go through, you do your time, and then you complete the time. Inshallah, you get off parole. So you completed the transaction. Whereas we went through transformation, meaning that we have a certain amount of arrested development because we went in at a certain age, But core principles and values, masculinity and intellect, we developed those consciously. We didn't just stumble into being men. You understand what I'm saying? It's not a happenstance. So what ends up happening is, now you're looking at, as he said, the opposition differently. Now you're looking at the opposition from the point of view of, like he said, cohabitation. Because you're there already. So for us, for me, for the dudes that I used to be in the pen with trying to elevate those mentalities, it was always asking the brothers to look at where we at. Are we better together or are we better individually, separately? So that's always the mentality, because they're gonna always look at the world from their hood perspective.
Yeah.
They set perspective.
So, from that box.
So B, when you made the decision to step away from Inglewood family, how was that perceived, by your peers?
So thank you for bringing that up, bro. That's a great question. So Corcoran, 2012, I called a meeting on the yard. It's homies out here right now that was there. I called a meeting on the yard. When everybody got there, I took my shirt off, had my gloves on, and told everybody, like, from this point, it was July 7th, coming up on anniversary, July 7th, 7-7 day for the hood. I called a meeting. It was like, bro, from this day on, I'm done. I'm out. Like, don't call me B-Lo no more, I'm done. And one of my homies, my homie T-Lo, stepped up and he was like, homie, you serious? And I was like, I'm serious. I said, matter of fact, I can't even bang it on nothing because I'm out. And he was like, what I said was, the only thing I'm asking of y'all, I said, I gave you 25 years of loyalty since I was 12 years old, and I was 37 at the time. I said, I gave you 25 years of loyalty. Never punked the game, never ran, never did nothing. I'm asking that you respect me as an individual, let me be a civilian. I'm not going SNY, I'm not, none of that. And I'm asking that you, if you have any issues with me, you bring it here. Don't do it behind my back, don't drop a kite, don't stab me behind my back. Line it up. You already know what it is. And my homie T-Loco said, I respect that. And he turned around to the homies and was like, anybody got an issue with that, I'm gonna catch his fade too. And that's what it was. Now, that was the easy part. The hard part was the next day when I came out to the yard, and I'm so accustomed to going and greeting my homies. Right. It ain't that same type of party. It wasn't that I was shunned from over there, but it was just like, if you done, you done. Now you got to go on the other side of the yard where we used to say, well, that's where the lames hang out at. The ones that don't want no funk, that's where they hang out at. So I couldn't see myself going over there. Not me, not B-Lo, I can't go over there, nah. But I couldn't hang with the homies. Mm-hmm. And then the second thing hit me. It was 860s on the yard. I ain't got no fucking army behind me no more. Mm-hmm. So the same thing I did to the homies, I did to the 60s. I went to Bad News, my boy Mark Bowden. Went to Bad News and said, bro, I don't know if you heard or not, but I'm done, I'm out. I'm not Inglewood family no more, I'm not none of that. The only thing I'm asking is that you respect that. Tell your little homies, respect that. Bad News told me this. He said, bro, when you hit the yard, I told my little homies to watch you. And if anything happened, that you was the target. If you really out, we gonna respect that. But if we find out there's any type of, it is what it is. And I respected that. And then the very next sentence he said, now come to church with me. That's Bad News from 60s. Mm-hmm. Come to church with me. And I wasn't ready for that then. I didn't go to church till a whole year later. Mm-hmm. But I had to embrace that feeling of, I think I wrote about it, but I had to embrace that feeling of being in the ocean with nothing, no life raft. I didn't have no lifesaver. I was doggy paddling in the ocean. I didn't see no land around, and I knew there was sharks. I knew there was motherfuckers plotting, waiting. Oh, he gonna slip up. He gonna be back. It's blood in, blood out. But when you get an opportunity to step out, ain't no coming back, bro. Ain't no straddling the fence. And so I really started having second thoughts. Like, is this really what the fuck I want to do? Is civilian life really what the fuck I want to do?
At this point,
I still got life. I still haven't gotten granted parole. I ain't even went to board yet. The laws ain't even changed. It's 2012. The laws hadn't changed to 2014. So I made the change.
Matter of fact, it even went worse because they had the Megan's Law.
It didn't get changed to
2008, so we was getting 10 and 15 years denied. Yeah.
18 is when they really started letting everybody out. 260.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So it was a time for. So I changed for me.
Yeah, there you go.
I changed because my heart wasn't in it no more. I changed because the last decision that I had to make on somebody, I had to watch it. If you make a call on somebody, if you say this person got to get knocked down, you got to go out there and make sure it goes down properly. I made a call on somebody. It was the right call, but I couldn't watch it, bro. I'm watching the homies thrash this dude, rightfully so, but I put my head down. I couldn't watch it no more. It wasn't in my heart. The violence wasn't there no more. The bloodlust wasn't there no more. And I put my head down, and the homie I was laying next to on the ground, he was laughing. He was like, bro, you did this. Why the fuck you ain't watching it? He laughing like, bro. I said, homie, my heart ain't in it no more, dog. And I said that out loud. I went to the cell that night and told my cellie, because it was easy to tell my cellie before I told the homies. I said, bro, I'm done, homie. I can't do this shit no more. I was in the cell with Grump from Skyline. I can't do this shit no more. Grump stood up. He's a big motherfucker. He stood up like, what you mean? What you mean you can't do this no more? And I jumped off my bunk and I was like, homie, it is what it is, bro. But I'm saying, I'm done. And he hugged me. He was like, bro, if you serious, I'm with you. Whoever say whatever is, it is what it is, bro. And that was the catalyst to moving forward. That was the courage I needed, the impetus that I needed to keep pushing, bro. You know what I mean? So when I made that decision, I stood on it. And I ain't had no regret since. Now, I will say that I recognize my homies. I still wear my colors. It is what it is. But as far as gangbanging, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit.
Right.
When the homies call me now, I'm like, it's on in the hood, or I'm good.
Yeah.
I got time cards to do. I'm good. You know what I mean? I got a meeting with the mayor. I got a tour with the mayor.
You better tell your truth.
I'm good, bro. You feel me? I'm good. This is where it's at right now, bro. But that is what got me here, though. B-Loc is what brought Brian here. And I respect that. So that's what it is, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not going to say it's easy because it was homies that tried to do the same thing after the fact when I did it and didn't end with it.
Right.
It didn't end with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But so I'm not going to ever encourage anybody to do what they think is right. I'm going to tell them to do what you feel is the correct thing to do. You're going to know in your heart what's right to do and what's not right to do.
Right.
I always say that's a part of what we call the crucible, where you're going through something and it's a journey, but you got to go through that. You got to be the one. That's what Dog was saying last night.
Sure.
He came out of the YA mentality. Now he done jumped into this Calipatria thing. So as crazy as Dog is, he realized this is a bigger situation. This is a different situation. So But up here, God's always, that be the signal thing, that they'll have the ability to hear it. Somebody else say something, and they ain't got to say much, but they caught it, and that's the transferable skill. So that's the transferable skill, to be able to say, because I went through it, my homies didn't, I didn't go tell them, hey, listen, man, I'm Muslim. And then that was it, but my homie Rockhead and them, Rockhead is what you call a Crips crib. I showed you the house. He lived in a blue house.
He out?
Yeah. I showed you the picture. Rockhead lives in a blue house. He walks around Long Beach in blue clothing. You know what I'm saying? Like Rockhead is one of them type of.
Rockhead is gonna be Rockhead for the rest of his life.
That's what it is.
I was in the PM. I was in Tehachapi with Rockhead, and I was in Corcoran with Rockhead.
Yeah.
And with all due respect to Rockhead, if you watching, all due respect, appreciate you. I'm happy that you out, bro. But I didn't like Rockhead. We didn't see eye to eye when the yards I was on. We never funked. We never bumped heads.
But his politics.
But it was just different, bro. And it was just different, bro. I'm just leave it at that. But I'm happy that he out. I love to see the transition. I love to see success, bro.
Rockhead came to the pen, and the reason why I do this, because this is how he used to talk. But we used to call him Commando. You see what I'm saying? Because Rockhead went through, like saying Quentin when Quentin was Quentin.
Yeah.
They went through Tracy and all that when he was a youngster coming in the early 80s. So by the time he done met B-Loc from family, he see a young general from the other section. who got politics that gonna be oppositional.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying? So really, this is one of those types of things. That's why he remembered Rockhead. Because when you start thinking, and they're like, we know people like Bolo from Bounty Hunter. I know people like B-Lo from Family. You see what I'm saying? T-Dog from Trey 5. People who you know, man, this motherfucker right here, man. He gonna watch this motherfucker say something. Watch this motherfucker say something. He gonna say something. And then you gonna hear him say, and Rockhead for the Long Beach car was like our B-Lo. Or B-Lo was they, you see what I'm saying? Because that's how Rockhead was. That's why we call him Commando. No matter what happened, he was not letting the East Side flag hit the ground, bro. And he did that. So even when I stepped back, he was one like, Young Sneak, you know, don't go too far. That's what I'm studying. I'm reading about Frederick Douglass and all this. Don't go too far. But he's also like, you a resource, bring that to the cryptic. Yeah. Take that information and bring this to the homies.
Like the spooky sat by the door.
The spooky. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we all come from this. So that's why B say, man, he gonna wear the colors. He still know his homies and all that, because that's something that you can't get. That's what it is. So, but going to them and they know and participating and doing those things, they respect that. I never received no opposition other than love. Like, man, because they know they losing a resource. Not just a soldier, a general, but somebody intellectually capable of guiding the homies to a win, to a success. You see what I'm saying? And so Rockhead was just one of them people, but now you see they out by using the same techniques and methods, because it's all tried and true. I don't care what you say. If I call Rockhead right now, hey man, you remember B-Lo from Family? Yeah. You talking about the young homie for the families. Yeah, he know that's how he is. You see what I'm saying?
One thing I can say is Rockhead has always been solid. I like Saddlehead. You know what I mean? I fuck with Saddlehead from Long Beach. That motherfucker push a line. Rockhead push a line, and I respect that. You know what I mean? But I was with him when I was at a young age, when I was still just like, you know, fresh out the shoe, ready to go back, ready for whatever. It was just a different climate. Tehachapi was different.
Oh yeah.
I was there from 90. I caught a shoe term, went and then came back to fucking Tehachapi. Caught a shoe in Tehachapi against the Keyways, against Hookie from 60s. It is what it is. Come back to that yard though, so I got to address that. But everything was good. So anyway, I get there, and now it's a Damu Keyway yard. You know what I mean? It's like the Damu's having money, the Keyways having money. I don't know why we can't coexist, but one just feel like we got to have more money than the other, and it becomes a problem or whatever. But I end up catching a hot one with a Keyway. My boy Tay-Dog from Solon. Shout out to Tay-Dog. That's my dog. Catch a hot one on the Nazi Low Rock, on the skinhead, on the Nazi Low Rock. That changed the climate on the yard now. Because where there was a line, a division between the red and the blue, you knock down a white boy, it's all of a sudden the color lines is over with. Everybody's ready to go. It ain't even a question. So now the yard is now saying, okay, there's a potential for a mass movement. The SA is moving out the way. The whites is peace treaty. Now the Damu Keyways is talking. Like, why we can't keep this going? If we got motherfuckers moving out the way, because they see the elephants coming through, they see a tribe of elephants coming through, motherfuckers getting out the way. I don't give a fuck how many tribes of lions or hyenas or whatever. When the elephants coming through, people get out the way, bro. We coming to the water. We finna drink. And we might save y'all something.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Ain't nothing.
That's what it is, though.
It ain't nothing.
That's what it is. Even the alligators is like, let me back up a little bit.
Wallahi.
You feel me? This is what it is, bro. And so why we can't keep that? Yeah. Look at the current era, the current climate in LA. Look at the current climate in the nation. Why we can't keep that? Yeah. The problem is because we got infiltrators. The problem is because we got agents provocateur. The problem is we got people that don't want this. The problem is because we ain't tilling our garden. We ain't getting the weeds out, bro. You know what I mean? That's a whole different talk. That's a whole different. But that's the conversation that we was having in the pen when we was having those shoe turn conversations on the shoe yard. Like, oh, this is what it is. This is where the Rockheads and the B-Lokes and the Sneaks and the T-Dogs come and sit down like, bro, this is what we need to be doing. This is what y'all have y'all shit. We got our shit. Why we can't just have our shit together? It's enough of it to go around. Why we can't do it together?
For sure.
And if it's somebody that stands up in opposition, then y'all already know what it is. Knock them down, or tell them to find them a spot. You know what I mean? And that's how I started to evolve. I started realizing, like, bro, it's way bigger than what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
The world is way bigger than just 2 weeks.
Man.
That's all I could see.
At 12.
At 12.
8, 9.
I wrote about this, but I said that I used to determine if I should take a bath by this. If it was cool, I got another day.
Different.
I got another day.
Wood is different. Boy.
I got another day.
You got
12 years old? Yeah, I got this. I'm going to school tomorrow. You feel me? Put the right guard on and put it on my shirt and it's good, bro. I wasn't thinking nothing beyond 2 weeks. You feel me?
He said,
for real though. I'm being honest, bro. That's what it was for me.
Day.
You know what I mean?
We could ride it out.
I figured that shit out tomorrow. That's how it was. When I step off the curb, my 2 oldest brothers, I got 4 older brothers. 2 of the ones above me is from the turf. So I grew up into this shit. I already knew what I was gonna do at 6. I knew what I was gonna do at 6. I was banging the hood and throwing it up and all that when I was 7. I was writing on the walls when I was 7. So I knew what I was gonna do. It wasn't even when they was asking what you want to be in school, I said, I want to be that. I want to be the homies. I want to be out there on the block. They telling me to go in the house, but I know where I want to be. First chance I get, I'm there. You feel me? So when they say you embrace this, you gonna bang this for the rest of your life, hell yeah, without a doubt. Sign me up. I'm not even thinking about what that means. When they said I was gonna die before I was 18, you fucking right. So I'm gonna go out with a bang. Motherfuckers gonna hate me. They gonna write my name on the wall. They gonna hate me. That's what I embrace. And then the judge say, life, that way, hold up. That ain't what I signed up for. That ain't what the homie said. The homie said I was supposed to die at 18. My teachers and the pastor and my mama and them said I was gonna die before I was 18. What the fuck you talking about life? Okay, well fuck it, this is what it is then. We gonna bang it here then. This is the streets now, this is the new, you feel me? So now you telling me I gotta have hope and get out here and be successful? Transferable skills. Everything I was doing in there negative, I'm doing out here positive.
All the while, you had a child.
I did.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? What part in that?
Happy Father's Day.
What's up? Thank you, bro.
Absolutely. What part in that, also aided you in making that decision that, enough is enough, I want to get to spend some time with my child.
So this is probably going to be the most unpopular answer you'll receive, but it played no part whatsoever. So let me say this: I realized that, and this was much later on. I might have wrote about it in the book, but I realized way later on that I never knew what love was. I couldn't possibly love myself, my mama, my kids, and all that if I was doing the shit I was doing, because I know it was going to destroy them. And I wouldn't destroy anything I love or purposely hurt anything I love, so I couldn't possibly have loved myself or loved anything else. I didn't realize that till in my 30s. So when I had a son at 15, I loved my son because I was told to love my son. I was told that if a man has a child, he loves his child. Okay, I love my son. Everywhere I go, I'm going to say I love my son. I'm going to do everything I can with my son. I was there with him for 11 months, so the bond wasn't there. I was there with him every night. I came home every night. I was there. But I never had a bond because I didn't know what love was. I just did what I thought I was supposed to do, responsibilities. And my mom always said, be responsible. You feel me? So when I went to the pen, when I called my case, went to the pen, whatever, he used to come visit me. My parents would bring him or his mom would bring him, whatever. And I would play with him and all that. I would tell him I loved him and all that because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. But there was no bond there. So none of the decisions I made, good or bad, were influenced by any type of love I had for my son or for my mama for that case. I love my mama because that's my mama. And now that I know. But I also was willing to kill, steal, and destroy for the turf, even if it destroyed mine.
Because you was bonded to the turf.
Because I was bonded to the turf. And it was much more invested into that than it was anything else. Home life was home life. I mean, it is what it is, but I forfeited that. If I was so easily ready to forfeit that, then I couldn't really be that attached to it. I didn't forfeit the banging. I didn't forfeit the criminal thinking and none of that shit. I was willing to do whatever for the set. You feel me? So when I finally got out and I met my son and, I not met him, but, he came pick me up from prison. I was just like, damn, my son, I left him in a car seat, in the front seat of my Regal when I left the streets. And now he's picking me up in his car with his kids in the car. With my grandkids, my next generation in the car. You know what I mean? And that affected me. But the bond wasn't still there. Like our relationship right now was fucked. But that was just the honest answer, bro.
Desire required to make it to the top. Hunger in my belly, it'll never stop. Fire burning, I'ma save it for the ops. Clock running out, who gon' take the shot? Me? King Dopest.